And greetings, I'm Wet Hamster, and today we have Suspicious Dish with me.
Do we?
Yes, not a wet gerbil this time.
Okay. Um, yeah. So, this
Um,
video.
yeah, this video, it's for people
It's
who actually care listening to the live commentary versions. They will hear me very upset. Like it is really hard to get me upset, but this one mission, I spent good half day just with this one little mission, just dying over and over and over and over and over and over again. And whenever I was just about to win, then I died, or whenever I did win, I was like, oh, this video just only took 40 minutes. 1 second while I redo it. Nowhere near the kind of frustrations I'm sure you've been through with your Twilight Princess breaking, but it sucks doing the same thing over and over again. And on
no
top
comment.
of this, I'm fighting in the old jungle. As you can see, the old jungle, you cannot see a damn thing in front of you.
But at least we got an interesting environment this time. This actually looks like they spent some time.
Well,
As opposed to, this goes here. Let's just throw a rock texture up on this wall, and there's nothing anywhere.
oh, that thing, it was. If you go outside the cave, there's actually a whole swamp. It's just the monster wouldn't leave. The Bassaros wouldn't leave that cave. That's all. I don't know why that Bassaros never leaves the cave. I guess because there's the tasty minerals in the cave. I don't know. I would flee the fuck away if somebody was trying to kill me. And you have to remember, Bassaros are just babies, literally. So you're just killing a baby monster. I would be scared to death and I would run the fuck away. But you know, what do I know about monsters? And alright, so here's the really hard part about this mission. There are two green Plesioths. You know the regular Plesioth. There are sub-breeds in the game where they just kind of recolor them and they can make completely new, different armor types with their stuff. Plus, you know, padding from the developer side. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just pad in the game with the same monster type with a new color.
That's a really
It is pretty lame.
sceneful loading zone there. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's basically you step, like, there's no fade out, there's no fog in the distance, you just, up, you're in a loading zone now.
Yeah, it's just how they decided to do the game, I guess.
Yep.
I think more it's an artifact from the PS2 era or something. But I don't know. I don't mind the loading screens just because they're so short.
Oh, you're not cutting them out or anything? They're actually
Well,
that
the
short?
loading screens are like 2 seconds or something like that, usually. So, like, at most, like 2 seconds if you've installed the game on your PSP.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
you
that
know,
doesn't look too bad then.
No, it's, the loads are really, really good. If you haven't installed it, it can take a little bit longer. If you're playing the first game, it takes like anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds, and I do cut the load screens. If I do post, I'm not going to do post commentary anymore for the first game, just because it is like comparing first generation of the game versus the second generation. Don't think they've made it to the 6th generation. But
So what is this thing? Is this the Plesioth thing?
yeah, and remember the bullshit hip checks that he does? Well,
Oh yes,
because
the,
of his
I'm
green,
gonna hit you with an invisible box move.
yeah, because of his green Plesioth, he does way more damage. So,
So why
yeah,
do you play this game anyway?
because, well, the thing is, if I was playing this for myself, I would just skip this fight because it is optional, but because it's the Let's Play, I'm doing all the missions, and people can skip whatever fights they don't want to see.
And you're using the gun link, of course, too.
Actually,
It's-
the shield weaponry are probably the best weapons to fight him with, because you can actually block the I'm going to bullshit hitbox you move. Whereas people who cannot block are just screwed. So, you want to either bring a ranged weapon or a weapon with a shield. A
and
good
you're
shield
using gun
mount.
lance.
Yeah, or just a regular lance. I'm just, and here's the, now, I kind of went on a tangent before, but here's the hard part. Note that there's 2 of them in this tiny area. And any one of them can pretty much, depending on how much health I have or if they're enraged, 1 or 2 shot. And that was just a little bite, and it took like a fourth of my health off.
So what's the red bar up there? Is that...
It is like, if you know fighting games where if you don't take a hit for a while, then it'll slowly go back, but if you take another hit, then the red goes away.
Okay, yeah.
And also, I cannot block the water beam attacks. Unblockable. So if I get hit by one of those, I'm screwed at any class. There's actually one way to block unblockable attacks, but that requires special armor setups to give you the right skills.
Alright. So when can we expect to see the action replay screen come on?
The action replay, never.
You're not using cheats?
No. If I was using hacks, I'd probably have hacked a weapon like Imal did in one of the multiplayer videos. He hadn't realized he had done it. But he made a weapon, and he hadn't realized it was one of the hacked weapons, which will just one-shot things.
Wonderful.
I kept that in at least as a bloopers reel, and it was hilarious, because we were all kind of staring like, what just happened? He just died. He just fell over. He had a heart attack. What? And then Imal makes oops, and we make fun of him, because he screwed up.
So yeah, the game actually looks like it's interesting to look at now.
And yeah, the environments are really well done. Each monster kind of sticks to sort of their own areas. All the monsters do have their own ecologies. Like, lava monsters will generally stick to lava areas, and in particular, like, say, stay in the lava. I don't think there are any, like, well, I guess there's one, but I've never fought it before because it's multiplayer only.
So yeah, I'm
but
only
yeah, like,
alt-tabbing out of the video every 10 seconds now.
Yeah. But the old jungle is just a horrible place to fight because half the areas you can't see like more than 2 feet in front of you, and this causes a lot of frustration because you can't see like this game. You gotta know what moves the monsters are doing, and if the monster isn't like huge like a Plesioth where you basically know what he's gonna do, so let's just say a smaller monster and he has really devastating attacks. You're not going to be able to see, say, he's doing this one move, he's starting the animation for it, then you're like, okay, he's doing this animation, that means he's going to do that move, and that means I have to dodge like this to avoid getting hit, right? Mm-hmm. And because you can't see more than 2 feet in front of you, you can't see what he's doing, and you just get hit anyways because you're taking a gamble.
Okay. Yeah.
And he knocked me right back.
So we have 18 minutes of this video to fill.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I when I was doing this video, like in the live commentary, I was like, oh boy, I'm just gonna sit and be pissed and frustrated in the post commentary. But it's been a while since I've recorded this video, and I've kind of like simmered down, and now I'm chill about it again. But it really takes a lot to piss me off. And even when I'm pissed off, I don't sound like I'm really pissed off. I sound like I'm slightly annoyed.
Like now?
No, actually, right now I'm actually pretty. I'm pretty happy. I'm having fun. But
you sound slightly annoyed, I will say though.
Well, actually, I'm not. Just kind of thinking back on it and like going, ugh.
So you're slightly annoyed then? Yeah,
something like that.
Sure. on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 3 or 2. Not like a 4. That's slightly annoyed. Slightly annoyed.
But you know, like how some people will like when they play their video games. I remember having a friend. Whenever he died in like a computer game, he would kick his computer, or whenever it wouldn't work properly, he would kick his computer. And I was like, dude, you're kicking your computer. There's probably a reason why it's not working.
My favorite was we had a similar guy who kicked his computer, and to be honest, it did work. Like, he would miss a shot, kick his computer, and then take another shot, and it would work. Yeah. So maybe you're a bit too quick to judging your guy.
Oh well. I mean, literally, this is back in the days when they didn't have. Well, actually, they have pretty solid shells because nowadays they don't really use like solid steel as much as they did back then. Now it's like paper thin steel, if anything, or maybe it's some sort of carbon.
Yeah, it's
mixture.
Usually a carbon. Or,
Yeah,
very, very
like they use
metal.
in cars, just to make it extra lightweight and cheap and easy to produce because they've mass-produced this stuff.
Did John Williams do the soundtrack for this? He's way too enthusiastic for this.
That's one thing I am gonna give the game sort of a. Oh darn! And I died. And it's that easy just to die to. Suddenly you're doing well, and then suddenly you just die.
Yep.
And
you're not gonna make us.
I jump cut, so I don't have to walk all the way back. Just, die, jump cut, because when you die, you end back at the camp.
Right. But you're not gonna start doing the mission over from the start, are you?
No. I get 3 deaths, and then the mission is over. So
Oh. Okay.
Because the reward decreases by 1/3 each time, and when the reward goes to 0, then basically the hunter goes, well, now there's no point in doing the mission anymore, because I'm not getting anything out of it. That's kind of the logic behind it. I'm not getting paid for this anymore, why am I doing this?
I thought Monster Hunter wasn't about, like, you're a Monster Hunter, that's not about the reward.
You're literally a hunter paid by people to do things, but if you fuck up too much, the guild says, no, we're not going to allow you to be paid.
Oh, so you're doing it based on a reward system. This is your job, not
This is literally your job. Basically, people become hunters because the regular animals of this planet are giant monsters. And they will fuck you up if there's nobody to keep them in check.
Right. Like, when you described this to me before, I thought that just keeping them in check was your destiny.
No.
Out of your own...
No. See, it is literally a job. People will say, okay, I want to be a hunter because if nobody's killing these monsters in the area, they will wreck our shit, and then our towns will be destroyed and we'll all die. So, somebody's got to do it.
Well, right, but...
Oh, by the way, the monsters can also sleep you, too. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm slept, but fortunately, the beam's hitbox cannot hit me because I'm lying on the ground.
So, why are you now being beamed up to the Starship Enterprise? Look at those particle effects. What is that?
You mean the one, the sort of breathing particle effects that's coming out of his mouth?
No, I mean the streaks.
Oh, the streaks?
That are going up towards the sky?
The streaks that are going up towards the sky.
Are you even watching the same video?
Oh, yes. Oh, you mean on my character?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the monsters. No, that's just meaning I'm buffed.
Oh.
The cat has songs that he can use. He has a horn, and when he plays a horn, then he can give me a defense or attack. Or even heal me. I've customized him to do that.
Okay.
So it's
Wait,
slightly
you can
more
customize
useful
your cat?
Yeah, you can give them skills, and then they'll use them.
That sounds way too sinister. I'm gonna customize my cat.
Yeah.
Build a cat workshop.
Yeah, Pip My Cat. That'll be the new TV show. You see, I've lowered his legs, cut them off a bit, so to lower him to the ground.
Yep.
And I've also put some Christmas lights on him to light him up,
yep.
Make him more shiny and bling. And on top of that, I've melted all his skin off and coated him in gold.
Ah.
And now he's gold-plated. Oh boy. I bet if PETA is watching right now, they think I'm a horrible person. I am. There's no denying it.
I'd just be shocked if PETA watched this.
Yeah, I would. This would probably be one of these games where they go completely batshit insane, because if they go batshit insane over the raccoon suit of Mario 3 thinking that, like, this is animal cruelty, then I'd hate to think what they think about this.
They're not watching this, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, what would they think about Monster Hunter?
What would they, so...
You're killing these poor, helpless animals that are just completely killing you, and they're not even real, but, oh, it's terrible.
The thing that you have to understand about PETA is that they are in no way serious.
No.
I'm just going to point this out there. the actual official name of their blog is called the PETA Files.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Didn't they like? Didn't they?
They are
Didn't
not
they run
serious.
this through someone and say, you know what, this sounds a little too suspicious. Why don't we change our name a little?
They are not serious. They are outstandingly a troll. They think they're doing something, except they all know that it's just a giant joke. So
Yeah.
you hear about the fish thing?
No, I did not hear about that. This is the fish thing where like a Danish artist put a fish in a blender, and then there was a big controversy about that.
Nope. It's completely different. So PETA wanted to stop fishing in the ocean because they said fishing was terrible.
Oh no, that sea kittens, right?
Yeah. Oh yes. They could
Yeah.
have had a ton of different options for how to approach this. How are we going to stop fishing? They could have spelled the dangers of fishing. They could have had, talked about the boats and their oil consumption, how that's hurting the environment.
They could have talked about the iron levels in the fish and how it's dangerous to eat, even.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
They had 1,000 ways to attack this, and they chose to say,
we want to rename fish.
we're going to rebrand the fish, because how could you hurt a fish if it's now a sea kitten?
Delicious sea kittens. Good for them that I just hate the taste of fish to begin with. So, but if I like fish, I'll be going like, yeah, screw it. I love sea kittens. Delicious. Give me some tasty sea
You
kittens.
have to understand that PETA is not serious.
They're retarded.
They
I think their leader is
retarded. What I'm saying. What I'm getting.
If it's not, then I'm sure it's just because their leader is like, and this is no offense to handicapped people, but I'm pretty sure if their leader's in some way handicapped and
that's offensive to handicapped people. It's insulting.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
people.
saying. I'm not trying to offend handicapped people.
No. But it's insulting to the handicapped people because you're comparing them to her, which is so much.
Her?
Worse.
Oh, it's a woman. Oh, that explains a lot. Am I right, guys? No, that was
No, you're
bad
not right.
taste.
You should
That wasn't bad taste. I know.
Just like sea kittens.
Yeah. But see, the difference is I'm joking about things. I'm not trying to sound serious.
Well, yes, PETA is too. That's what you have to understand. A giant intentional joke.
Well, I'm sure maybe it's not really a giant intentional joke. It's just they're pretending that they want to make it look like they're doing something, but they just want the member benefits.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too.
Like there's probably some people who are really serious about this, but then everybody just kind of joins it because they're like, oh, I get member benefits. Yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah, I'll pretend I'm doing something.
There's a lot of people who think they're doing things that, when in reality they're not. Like, remember the oil? Like, I don't know if you heard about this in Denmark, but there was a big rally a while ago that was like, stop buying gasoline on this day. We'll buy it on the next day instead. This will send a message to EP somehow.
1 second while I'm taking my glasses off here. See, now I'm putting my glasses down, and I don't know if you can hear this, but that was me slapping my face at the stupidity of that.
Yeah. There's lots of people who believe that pointless, like, when I say pointless boycotting, what I mean is that it's not actually a boycott.
Yeah, you're just
you're not
getting it
sacrificing
tomorrow.
anything. You're gonna buy oil on
Well,
the next
here's
day.
the thing. When it comes to oil, you're kind of screwed too, because like the oil companies, they're making sure that there's no alternative fuel sources and whatnot, or at least they're trying to keep it down as much as they can. Oh, one died.
I don't believe that. I believe that.
I kind of, maybe this is just a little conspiracy theorist inside of me, but I kind of believe, because you hear about, like people are developing these sort of alternative fuel sources by using water and whatnot, and they've made some breakthroughs, and then suddenly you never hear about it ever again.
So let me explain this from a scientific perspective, from a sort of an engineering perspective.
Okay.
You hear this a lot. You hear this sort of breakthroughs, and then they disappear. The reason they disappear is because getting it from a laboratory where you have a person, and they're producing the fuel, to a mass-produced scale is hard.
Well, that is also hard to do on a mass-produced scale, but I still think
you can't have a person making, having a fuel source, building it in a factory, you have to build it. You have to scale it up, and that is much harder than.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that.
The same thing can be said of cancer medication and other things. You get these giant breakthroughs, and you never hear about them again because they couldn't find a process to actually mass produce them on a large scale.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do.
That part I can understand, but the little conspiracy theorist inside of me just says, I still believe that the oil companies, they have a lot to lose if people stop using oil. So
no,
they probably may.
They're not oil companies; they're energy companies. And if they invest, and a lot of energy companies have been investing in, better fuel sources, they'll jump on it because it cuts their bottom line. If you want to say they're incentivized to have for their money, they're jumping on reusable.
No, what I'm trying to say is they want to milk out the oil as much as possible before switching to the next thing.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of how I believe it, but that's
why would they have any incentive to do that? That's a PR disaster. They're keeping their costs up.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying like that. Again, I have a little conspiracy theorist inside of me who keeps telling me things.
So wait, this one was over and then it wasn't over?
No, because I have to kill both.
Oh.
But now since there's only one left, it's a lot easier because now I don't have to focus on not getting hit by two. Another thing I should probably point out is the monsters will have friendly fire against each other. So if you get them to hit each other while you're just dodging around, while it might take a while, you can weaken them. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. Substantially. Which is kind of what I've been doing a little in some of the other areas where I've just been like, no, I can't attack them. I have to dodge a lot. And because their hitboxes are huge and they have such a huge range, they're gonna hit each other.
How do you think the Plesioth feel about the environment?
Are
they environmentally cautious? I see that they're.
Well, apparently they're environmentally conscious because they basically trample everything down that they don't like, including me. But no, I think they're just cool.
Do you want me to check the Monster Hunter wiki and we'll see what they say?
Wouldn't it just be easy to call them up on the phone or something? We'll do it after the episode. We can put our universal translator from Star Trek on and talk to them and say,
that doesn't exist.
Oh, come now.
No.
If we're talking to imaginary beings, then clearly imaginary things must exist.
Okay, you have to draw the line somewhere.
Well... Oh, and I got hit again.
Also draw
video games...
a curve, or a circle, or a square, too.
Also, I'd like to note that you can see his fins are down now. That means he's almost dead and can be captured optionally if you want. So, like, all the monsters sort of have their weakness signs, and when they start showing them, that means they're pretty much close to death.
He doesn't look too well. Look at that. He's
coughing. Yeah. Well, actually, the smoke...
Look at what you're doing to this poor monster.
I know. Isn't it lovely?
No!
But it's giant sea kitten. Can't you see it?
Do Plesioth taste good then?
I don't know, but I just captured him, so he's not even dead. See, I showed mercy. I didn't kill this one. He's just tranquilized. And
there's a reason you say put him out of his misery for a reason.
You know what? That's probably a adequate term because there's a training school area where they probably take all the captured monsters, toss them in, and then people just train on them.
Train.
Yes.
By which we certainly don't mean slaughter with BBQ sauce.
No, I mean train as in stab them until they die, or like heal them up and then stab them until they die. So that like you just mutilate them until they die.
How was that training?
Very delicious afterwards.
Okay.
I hear you get free meals afterwards. Exactly. Well, if it was a training mission on a Vespoid Queen, I don't think I'd eat it just because it's a giant mosquito. But that's just me.
You've never had mosquito meat?
No, mainly because they're too small.
Isn't that like a delicacy in Denmark?
No, there's not that many mosquitoes in Denmark, actually. That's more Sweden and Norway.
Isn't that a delicacy in Sweden and Norway?
No, that would be... honestly, what would that be? Actually, a delicacy in Denmark, that's things more like pig's heart, pig's toes, cow's tongue, lamb brain, and...
road tar.
Yeah, road tar and raw herring. Pickled raw herring and whatnot.
Red herring? Or blue herring?
No idea. I'm not a fish expert, actually. I'm sure it's just some horrible joke because of red herring, har har, and then you're saying, oh, I'll add blue herring too. But
okay. So you have 10 seconds of numbers.
yeah, 10 seconds of numbers. That's just because I was sitting there going, ah, I finally did it. And like after, like I was, and within a half decent amount of time.